All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is John Williams, aka Born Winner, and I believe that everybody was born to win. It's just some of us don't know it yet. But it's my job, amongst others, to make sure that you figure that out. That there's greatness, as Les Brown used to say, in you, and that we are all winners. And there's no reason why we can't win in this financial game, because that's exactly what it is. But if you know the rules, you can win. So we're going to share a few rules tonight. One of the rules is Bitcoin hit an all-time high. It went from the last all-time high was 108,000, and now we went over 111,000 coins. So it's a new all-time high for Bitcoin. So that's pretty exciting. And wait a minute, let me do something real quick. Yeah, that's real exciting that Bitcoin hit another all-time high. But I just want to share this with you all real quick. I thought it was cute, so I'm going to share it.
Did you order price discovery? Bitcoin set a new all-time high on Thursday, comfortably punching through $111,000 per orange coin. More on the BTC Ath in a moment, but first it needs to be acknowledged that this Thursday happens to be Bitcoin Pizza Day. A day celebrated in the Bitcoin and crypto community whose message is basically to caution against spending or selling your Bitcoin, as Laszlo Hanyecz did in 2010 when he paid for 2 pizzas with 10,000 Bitcoin. Perhaps I'm reading too much into it, but the messaging seems both overly harsh and antithetic for Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Anyway, I digress. From a mere fraction of a cent to over $111,000. Bitcoin's journey over the past 15 years has been nothing short of extraordinary. Check the chart below to see approximately how much Bitcoin was valued at on Pizza Day.
Now, let me just share something with you because I played with the number today. So on Pizza Day, Bitcoin is at 0.0025, about a quarter. A rough calculation, 10,000 Bitcoin today is $1,110,000,000. So I know when Alonzo thinks about that pizza he enjoyed some 15 years ago, he probably chokes. $1 billion. That's what them 10,000 Bitcoin would be worth today. Because that's about what he paid for them when he bought them. Less than a quarter. It's awesome. And that's why you always hear me say, when we're talking to these clients, understand one thing, that all these so-called experts are predicting this coin, this Bitcoin, to go to 1 million by the year 2030. So roughly 5 years, right? Give or take a few. And based on what you're going to learn tonight, I'm going to show you how you can capitalize on at least the last 2 to 3 years of that run. It's going to be phenomenal. But also I want to share a concept I learned, I don't know how many years ago. It's been a while, probably sometime during the late 80s, about the rule of 72. And so that rule is simply that you can take any interest rate and you divide it into 72, and that'll tell you how many years that it will take for your account to double. It's a real simple rule, right? And using the historical rate on a mutual fund, historical averages, over a 10-year span, mutual funds have been averaging about 10%. About 10%. So if you take 10% divided by that 72, that means every 7.2 years, if you have 100 grand, it will double. So every 7.25 years, that 100,000 will go from 100 to 200. But what I used to always teach clients, and what I still talk about today, is a lot of advisors, not all, but a lot of them don't calculate or help you calculate in the rate of inflation, because that's real. You know, the cost of goods and services going up every year. It just doesn't fail. And so I looked at what the inflation rate has been from April of last year to this year. and it's been 2.7. Did I write it down somewhere? Yeah, 2.3, I'm sorry, 2.3 to 2.4. So that means if it's 10% and you take that 2.3, subtract it from that 10, you're going to get 7.9. I'm sorry, 7.7. So in actuality, you need, instead of 7 years for that money to double in purchasing power, you need 9.2. Wow. Think about that thing. So you're thinking your money is doubling every 7 years because you're not subtracting the rate of inflation. But when you subtract the rate of inflation, even at that 10%, it's actually taken 9 years for your money to just keep pace with the rate of inflation. So what we're going to talk about tonight is how you can position yourself to be way ahead of the rate of inflation, and you won't need $100,000. Is my point. You won't need it. It's nice to have it, but not very few. Not very few. Very few Americans have it. It's just not happening. And you know what I did, gang? I have closed out my presentation. So I'm going to have to open it again. I'm in here playing with stuff and doing things. Here we go. There we go. I want to show something else before I get into my presentation. Let me show this right here, because it's significant too. When we talk about the rate of inflation, which is what we're going to be talking about, we're also going to talk about compounding, because compound is important. It's very important. That's what happens when you have a qualified account, whether it be a 401k, IRA, thrift savings plan, Keogh plan, Roth IRA. Any of those qualified plans, your money compounds, meaning you don't pay taxes on it until later down the road, right? And if you have a Roth down the road, you get tax-free income because you're paying it up front, okay? And if you can, that's the better way to do it. But nevertheless, one of the top financial firms was sharing this about a few weeks ago, of people saving $300 every month. And their goal was to get people to save $300 a month for 8 years, and then let it sit at the average rate of 10% a year. So that means at the end of those 8 years, you'd have $28,800, and you let it sit for the next 39 years, and you would have $1.8 million. Well, that's a good formula, because I believe that saving something is better than saving nothing. But I got stuck right here at the 300, because based on data, very few people save $300 every month, right? But they should. There's no doubt they should. Even in qualified accounts, even in 401ks, people, you have some that are maxing out, but very few are maxing out. I think they said the average is about $200 a month that people are saving, when they could be, if they maxed it out, they could be saving $400 to $500 a month. But we know why they're not, right? Because of life. They bit off a little more than they can chew in terms of the lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. But we won't get into that. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you wanted to save $300 a month to make this 1.8 million happen for you, I think you should, no doubt in my mind, right? I just know that we have a much better way to make it happen. But this is compounding, and it's a beautiful thing. But I'm going to show you a better way to take that same 300 and max it out. A much better way. Did I close my presentation again? I think I did. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. Well, we have a holiday coming up, and I can regroup and get my brain right, because I'm just doing all kind of things tonight. But what I am going to do is show you how You can go from zero to hero, go from broke to putting yourself in the top 5% of our retirees or savers or investors. And you don't necessarily have to do 300 per month. Now, you heard me say you should. There's no doubt in my mind you should be saving at least that minimum. But I understand that most people are chasing the lifestyle, right? And if we get, but if we can get you to change from chasing the lifestyle to chasing the money and delay the lifestyle, you'll be a much happy camper when you get to be my youthful age. Much happier camper. Let's go ahead and get started. You heard me say earlier, I'm John Williams. This is my company, Bridge Advisors. Your bridge to financial freedom. We're talking about freedom tonight. We're going to talk about freedom, compounding, wealth, generational wealth, right? Because this is a generational wealth system. $100 in Bitcoin with Cryptex. Let's get it started. You're going to learn some key benefits of being associated with Cryptex project, with the Cryptex project. Cryptex allows you to benefit from a starting balance of $30,240 or $43,200 and only pay a $100 activation fee. Now that right there is phenomenal. Think about that thing for a minute. Are you saying, John, that I can activate a contract for $100, but my starting balance is going to be $30,240 or $43,200? Your choice. That's exactly what I'm saying. Let's dig a little deeper into this thing, though. But before we dig, let's do a disclaimer. What you hear in this presentation is not financial advice. It is to present you with information. Everything is associated with risk, even your job. Never risk more than you can afford to lose. There are no guarantees of income. You are responsible for your decisions and transactions. Income examples are estimates of what you may earn. Let's get the heavy lifting out of the way. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. Now, what is Cryptex? I'm glad you asked. Cryptex is a community-based project where operations are anonymous. There is no CEO, company, or location. Cryptex maintains partnerships with banks, insurance companies, and individual account holders, working uniformly to generate profits for all parties involved. That's part I like right there. Working uniformly for profits for all parties involved. Let that sink in as I go along. Operating since 2016, Cryptex utilizes DeFi staking protocol as its point of earning. How do we earn? DeFi staking. Cryptex provides anonymity for all parties involved. I'm not even going to revisit that. There are over 700,000 account holders worldwide. Happy account holders. The players. Now, pay close attention to these players. The DeFi staking contract, player one, account holders, insurance company, banks. Love it. Background method of earning, DeFi staking. What is it? It is the process of keeping your assets in a smart contract in exchange for the accumulation of interest. Crypto assets are locked for a contractual period to generate passive income. Locked assets protect the blockchain network's ability to generate crypto profits. And as a reward, the staked receives a return. Pretty awesome. DeFi staking is considered the modern day savings account, but much more lucrative because daily rewards are possible. With staking, Cryptex averages a variable rate of 0.1% to 0.3% per day from staking and compounding interest daily for profitable returns. I love that. And compounding. Yes, indeed. That's the magic. That's the secret sauce. What is the product? The DeFi hybrid contract. This is the contractual agreement between the contract the insurance company, and the bank. Now, who was that contract between? The contract, the insurance company, and the bank. Remember that. The contract contains the provision of capital in USD, which is the starting balance given by the bank to the contract. Given by the bank to the contract. Not to you, not to me, to the contract. That's important for you to remember. For a term of 3 years, 5 years, or 7 years. Now you can choose how long you want that contract to run. 3 years, 5 years, or 7 years. Up to 80 contract subscriptions are allowed per account. Yes, you can have more than one. Matter of fact, you can have 80. Each contract has a non-refundable activation fee of only 100 USD. And that's deposited in cryptocurrency, and we use either Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash, which is used for distributions and inter-system operations. A DeFi hybrid contract consists of two parts. Part number one, smart contract, the code that runs exclusively on the blockchain. And number two, the DeFi Oracle network, the decentralized Oracle network, which are secure off-chain services that support the smart contract. All digital code. The account holder. Participation. What is your participation? With only a $100 activation fee, you can secure a 3, 5, or 7-year DeFi staking hybrid contract, which contains a starting balance of $30,240 for 3 years, $43,200 for 5 years, or $43,200 for 7 years. Your choice. These starting balances compound over the length of the term. Each participant is considered an account holder and may open an account anonymously with just an email address and password upon registration. That's all we need. We don't need to know nothing else about you. Just your email and your password. The insurance company insures default and the wallet for loss and was developed by the partner insurance company specifically for the Cryptex project. See, that's a key word in there. Specifically, meaning they looked at this project and put together an insurance policy specifically for it. It's a beautiful thing. Now, why would the insurance company do this? Another great question. The insurance company stands to benefit financially by receiving secure monthly bonuses from the stake profits for every single contract. They receive this without interruption for the entire term of the contract. They're not trying to look at life happening. And look at this part right here. This is automated, removing the human factor and ensures that can collect. Ensures that they can collect. That's why they're doing it. You see, they understand that life happens. They just don't want life to happen while this deal is going on. They don't want nothing to interrupt that 3 years of premium, the 5 years of premium, or the 7 years of premium. So they're happy. That's the smart contract. And look at this. Now let's look at the bank. Based on the insurance coverage, why is the bank doing it? Based on the insurance coverage, the partner bank provides capital for the contract for 3 years, 5 years, or 7 years. Who they provided to the contract. Now, why would the bank do this? The bank benefits financially by receiving secure annual interest from the staking profits without, that word again, interruption for the entire term of the contract. See, they both want to participate, but they both want to make sure that their part of the benefit is gotten every month in the terms of the insurance company, every year in terms of the bank without interruption. This is automated and removing the human factor and assures collection. See, they both just want to collect. They're happy to work with us, but they want to collect, which I don't blame them one bit. It means because of these 4 components, profits are guaranteed. The only time you're going to hear me use that word guaranteed tonight is right here. Because of these 4 components, profits are guaranteed with the addition of compounding. Now let's take a look at the contents, the contract expectations, and the power of compounding. Look at these players again. Number one, DeFi staking contract. Number two, the account holder. Number three, banks. And number four, the insurance companies. It's a beautiful thing. Let's look at the contract expectations a little closer on a 3-year contract. Upon activation, the bank's going to deposit $3,240 to the contract. They're going to do it for 36 months. The insurance company is going to charge $210 every single month for the term of the contract. Cryptex is going to collect $30 for the handling fee every single month for the term of the contract. The bank's going to receive a variable rate of 6.75 every year for the term of the contract. Staking is daily. The compounding, yes, that's daily. And you're going to pay a $100 activation fee in Cryptex. In cryptocurrency. I'll be all right. Okay. Insurance, processing fee, and annual interest fee is paid by the generated stake profits. Past results are no guarantee of future success. And look at this here. $30,240 goes in on day one. And let's go all the way down to day 1,095, which now we have a balance of $65,337.28. Bank gets first dibs. They're going to take back what they loaned the contract, which was $30,240, and you'll be left with $35,097.28. And you can do that as many times as you like. Let's look at the contractual expectations of a 5-year contract. Bank's going to deposit a little more in this one, $43,200. And they're going to do it for 2 more years, 60 months versus 36 months. Insurance company's going to raise the rate a little bit from $210 to $300. Why? Because we're putting in $13,000 more dollars. Cryptex is going to charge the same because same handling. It's not more they have to do. That's going to be still $30 a month for the entire term of that contract, which is 60 months. The bank's going to give us a little bit of break on the interest. On the interest, it's going to go down to 5.5%. My eyes were open. I'd be all right. The staking reward is going to be daily. The compounding is still yes. And the contract fee is the same, $100. We're going to do that in cryptocurrency. Processing fee, insurance, and annual interest fee is paid by the generated staking profits, right? Past results are no guarantee of future success. So look at this. Day one, 43,000 goes in, 43,200 to be exact. And on day 1,824, there's $514,687.63 in the contract. Bank's going to take back their $43,200. That's what they put in the contract, right? To get that back, to get first dibs. And you're left with $471,587. Now, if you remember that scenario I talked about earlier, where you save $300 a month for 8 years, you got $28,000, and then you let that sit for 39 more years, and you got 1.8. We just showed you how to create a little less than $500,000 in 60 months with only a $100 deposit, not $28,000. But let's keep it going. So I'm going to keep referring back to that thought. I'm going to keep it fresh in your mind. Now, so you can see there is a substantial payout difference with a 36-month contract and a 60-month contract. One 36-month contract is estimated to return $35,097.28. One 60-month contract is estimated to return around $471,487 in profits. Each contract compounds daily interest on the starting balance, averaging between 0.1% and 0.3% per day or higher. It's a variable rate for the same $100 activation fee. That's the kicker. We're not asking you to dig in your pocket no deeper than you did on a 3-year contract. The same $100 activation fee. And you can have multiple contracts. You are not limited to just one contract. 80 contracts are typically allowed per account, and only one account is allowed per user. And we have a special pack running right now that allows you to have 45 contracts if you get all 3 of them. And so the special is $1,000 per contract. You would normally get 10. During the special, you get 15. So if you get all 3, you get 15 free contracts, 5 for each contract, 5 for each special contract. So that's 15. That's great. withdrawals. Matter of fact, we're going to have a special guest later on talking about withdrawals. So that's going to be cool. So make sure you stay. Because you're going to have a special guest talking about one that they actually had an opportunity to put some eyes on. So it's pretty cool. But if you go to memberrewards.com, memberwithdrawals.com, one of the members had a $400,000 withdrawal, and he decided to do a video. See, everybody ain't that comfortable doing videos and sharing with the guy because they don't want everybody to knock on the door. But this gentleman decided to share, and he doesn't show his face, but he shows you how you got the little letter and does the withdrawal. So it's pretty cool. So if you want to go to memberwithdrawals.com, you can see that video. And nothing like transparency. And the thing I love about the blockchain industry, and the reason why I came over here from the old financial world, is because of transparency. So if you want to look at one of Cryptex's withdrawal wallets, you go over to DailyPaySolutions.com, and you can see one of our wallets. And this particular wallet, at that time that this was made, had 51 Bitcoin in it. It's probably more in there now. And at that time, it was worth $3,275,000. But this is the key right here. Over 110 withdrawals had been made from that wallet. Matter of fact, to be exact, 110,966 transactions had been made to the tune of $266,144,395,998 in Bitcoin. Just sit back and dwell on that. One wallet, over 200 and some billion have been paid out in Bitcoin. Woo! So go to DailyPaySolutions.com. Get all the transparency you want. Let's put it all together. Number one, the account holder has a contract. One contract, activation fee is $100. Number two, the part I like the most, the bank provides the capital to the DeFi staking contract. So you mean your exposure is only 100? That's all I'm saying. That's your exposure. And if you remember what the bank provides, woof, let's go on. Number three, staking generates daily compounding profit. See, you got simple interest, and then you have compounding. We're talking about compounding. It's a mind blower. Number four, each contract is insured by the insurance company. So in other words, number two wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for number four. You see how every player is important here? That's why back on the other side, we said the four key players. Everyone is just as important as the other. Because see, y'all remember a few years ago, a particular bank got in trouble trying to lend to itself. Fed don't play that. You have to lend to customers. And they lend to the tune of a few million accounts. We won't call the name, but y'all remember. Can't do that. So we are just as important to this whole system working as the bank and the insurance company. Keep that in mind. Number five, at the end of the contract term, the capital lent to the DeFi staking contract is paid back to the person who lent it. Who was that? The bank. There it is again. And number six, all parties stand to profit from every contract. Let me read that one again. All parties stand to profit from every contract. Not just one contract, every contract. See, in America, we got it twisted. We think in order for me to win, you got to lose. No. That's been going on too long. That's why we're in the mess we're in now in the financial world, all over the world, right? But if you can stand at the table and we put together a deal, and I can get up and I'm happy, you can get up and you happy, then we can go out and have dinner together, you know you got something powerful. But if either one of us get up and ain't smiling, that contract probably won't last. Or whatever we put together probably won't last. Because at some point, that anger that's already in that person is going to well up. So this is a win-win situation, is my point. Number seven, the account holder only takes care of $100 activation fee for the entire process. You got to get that down in your head. Because when you get that into your head, whoever invited you here tonight, you're going to be ringing their phone off the hook. Your exposure to make what I just shared happen is $100 per contract. Over in the other world, to make what I showed you earlier happen, $300 a month for 8 years to create 28,000, then to let it sit for the next 39 years at a rate of 10% a year. Wow, long time. All right, so you can get those 15 contracts for the price of 10,000 bucks, right? Instead of getting 10 contracts, you get 15. And those are only available for the 36-month contract. And there's 3 packages that you can get, and not to exceed 80. Meaning that if you get the three pack special, that'll give you 45 contracts, and now you can get 35 more to give you 80. But you can't get 80 plus the special. Nah. And the special can only be used for the 36 months, as you just heard me say. And each contract will yield you somewhere between 35,000 and some change, right? It's no guarantee, but that's what we have been averaging for the last 8 or so years, somewhere in there, give or take a few dollars. Now let's look at these different contracts that we have. So when you log into your new account, you will see these 3 right here. The 36-month, $100 activation fee contract. You will see the special. It'll say it had a little red box around it. 36-month. The cost would be $1,000 versus $100, right? And you get 15 contracts instead of 10. So you want to get this as many as you can, which is 3, as soon as you can actually. Take advantage of that. And then of course we have the 5-year contract. It'll say 60 months. You know that's 5 years, and that's $100, right? If you want to see the 7, right about here on that 5-year contract, there will be an arrow. If you click on that arrow, everything gonna slide over to the left, and then you'll be able to see these 3 here, right? And the 7-year, of course, is $100 activation fee as well, 84 months, 7 years. And so that is there. Sometimes people log back in and say, I don't see the 7 year. It's there. It's right there. Now, to get back to the front part, it'll be a little arrow right here. You click that arrow, and everything will slide back over to the right, and then you'll be able to see the regular 36-month, $100 contract. So they're all there, is my point. Now, what is dollar cost averaging? It's a term that comes from the stock investment world back in the early 80s and 90s, right? And today, actually, stock fluctuates in price, and the whole object of the stock market should be, and for most smart investors it still is to buy high and sell low. But what they decided to do to get people to buy all the time is come up with a concept called dollar cost averaging. And what it is no matter what the market is doing, you want to consistently buy, Miss Jones, every month or every week, just buy some stock, no matter if it's up or down, so that over time, the cost basis of the stock that you bought would average out. You have some in there at the low price, you'll have some in there at the high price, and it'll average out. So that's where that term comes from, the dollar cost averaging. Consistently buying over time, and it'll average all out. All right, but now, what it really is just a method of saving money on a regular basis, and whether that be weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. It can be applied to this industry as well, because crypto does the same thing basically stock market does, based on supply and demand, use case, all that kind of stuff. Coins go up and down, as you saw the chart on Bitcoin, right? But check this out. $100 contract for 36 months is going to give you 35,000 in Bitcoin. Bitcoin in, Bitcoin out. If you were the rep that sold it, you get 30% of the 100, which is $30 in Bitcoin. That's after 36 months. You're going to receive another 28,000, another 2,800, should I say, which is 8% of the 35,000. So let me say it again. Up front, you're going to get 30% of the 100, which is $30. You get that in Bitcoin. At the end, 36 months later, you're going to get another 2,800. Add those 2 together. For each client you help, you'll make $2,830. Help as many as you can, because they need it, right? You do too, for that matter. Now, what if someone bought 1 contract every month? Now we're throwing in dollar cost averaging for 36 months. The total outlay would be $3,600 over that 3-year period, or over that 36-month period. Then they're going to start receiving for the next 36 months, $35,000 a month for the next 3 years. So the first 3 years, they're setting it up. They're saving $800 a month. Just imagine if they were doing that other scenario, saving $300 every month, right? Buying 3 contracts every month. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what I'm here to talk about, which is one contract every month for 36 months. When you start taking out 30,000, 35,000 for the next 6 months, your total withdrawal will be 1,260,000. Now let's think about that. That other scenario in the other world, it took just about 40 years to get 1.8 million. We just showed you how you can take 36 months to get 1.2 million. So you make it in 36 months. You take it out over the second 36 months. It's a beautiful thing. And if you're the rep that helped that client put that together, you're going to receive, every time they take out 35,000, you're going to receive 2,800. And over 36 months, you're going to make $100,800 in Bitcoin. Plus your upfront money, your total will be $101,880 in Bitcoin. Now look at this. The client say, "Wow, I like that, but you know what? I got some little money sitting over here in my 401k I can take out. My IRA, my thrift savings plan, my SEP plan, my KEO plan, wherever it's sitting, my 403b. If I take out 3,600, can I get a little bit better deal? Yes, you can, because see, now you put the 3,600 in up front, you're going to be able to qualify for the special. That's going to be 3,000. That's going to give you 45 contracts versus doing it this way, you get 36 contracts. Plus that 600, we're going to buy 6 more $100 contracts. That's going to give you a total of 51 contracts. So instead of ending up at the end of that third year with 1.2 million, you'll end up at the end of the first 36 months with 1.7. I just showed you a better deal. Instead of taking 39 years to get 1.8, I just showed you how to get 1.7 in 36 months. By doing what? Putting in 3,600 up front. That's how you do it, you see. If you're 60, 36 months, you're going to be 63 versus 39 years. I'm not even going to say close to what, 100? You know what I mean? But see, baby boomers need it though. They need it. They just can't wait 39 years to make it happen. They can't wait 30 years to make it happen. What I'm talking about tonight is how to make it happen in 36 months, 60 months, 84 months, even 84 months. If you're 60, you're talking about 67. Well, according to the latest statistics, you're going to live into your 90s anyway. It's just that most people are going to live into their 90s broke because they started out in retirement pretty much broke. According to Forbes, the average retiree starts out with about $25,000. That's not going to make it. Only 2.9, I think the number is, ends up with $1 million retirement account. And I'm speaking right now specifically to baby boomers about to retire. They have a lot of years in front of them. They don't have the money. Now we can show them how to create the money with a quickness. Because see, 3 years, 5 years, and 7 years, that's what I call almost overnight. Almost overnight. Let's dig into it a little deeper. Now that's one client doing dollar cost averaging for 3 years. What if you had more? Let's look at that. What if you help 10 people do the same concept? All 10 of them are saving $100 a month in Bitcoin for 36 months. Your commission up front will be $10,800. On the back side, you're going to take out 28. Every time they take out 35,000, you'll receive another 2,800 times 10. That's 28,000 every month. So each one of those 10 clients will be receiving 35,000 every month, all 10 of them. And you're going to be receiving 28,000 for all 10 of them, which is 8% of that 35,000 from all 10. That's going to give you $1 million retirement, 1,008,000. When you add your upfront money, your commission would be 1,018,800. What did you do? You helped 10 people. Well, let's see if you added 10 more to that. What if you had 10 on the second level? What that means is, let's just say each one of those 10 told one person. Now you're going to receive another 5% every time that 10 take out their 35,000 each, which will give you 17,500 times 10, 17,500. That's another 630,000 on that second level. When you add your first level with your second level, your total in a period of 36 months will be about $1,648,800, which is 17.5 on your second level of clients and 28,000 on the first level of clients, giving you 45,000 every month. So let's break it down. All 10 of those clients you help, should I say, in this scenario, all 20 will be withdrawing 35,000 every month, all 20 of them. You will be receiving 45,500 for helping all 20 of them. The 10 you directly helped and the 10 you indirectly helped. It's a beautiful thing. Now, what did you do? You helped 10 or 20 people build a $1 million Bitcoin retirement account. And I'm going to keep highlighting that Bitcoin retirement account. Why? Because see, paper, which is what we get in the regular world, is subject to inflation in a big, big way. In a big, big way. Meaning your dollars ain't worth nothing, pretty much. I mean, the dollar in 71, before Nixon moved us from the gold standard, was worth probably about 80 cents. Today, that same dollar, after being off the gold standard, it's worth about 5 cents in purchasing power. Yeah, think about that thing. Yeah, they don't teach you that in school. It blow your mind. We probably have a revolt. But people don't understand the real value of money. It's not money, it's paper. But that's a story for another day, which I'm putting that story together. Now let's look at generational wealth. Let's look at how we can take what we just learned and turn it into generational wealth. This system is with Cryptex as well, right? Now we're going to take a 7-year Bitcoin allocation plan across 80 contracts. Number one, if you did this without the special, because I don't know how long the special is going to last, so I just want to put that out there. I'm going to show you doing it with the special, but without the special, it would cost you $8,000 in Bitcoin to get all 80 contracts, right? With the special, it's $6,500. The second part is we're going to spread this portfolio out over 3 years, 5 years, and 7 years. Why? Because that's what I do. I create portfolios. I just do it now in the crypto space. So this is my breakdown. If I'm advising you, out of that 6,500, I'm going to take 3,000 of it. We're going to get the special. That's going to give you 45 contracts. So at the end of your first 36 months or your first 3 years, you're going to walk away with 1.5. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do with that in a minute. But 2 years after that, because see, after that 6,500, we also bought 13 of the 5-year contracts. That cost us 1,300 in Bitcoin. We got 13 of them. So that means 2 years after receiving this, we're going to receive 6.5 million in Bitcoin. The last part of that 6,500, which is 2,200, we bought 22 7-year contracts. So 2 years after receiving this 6.5, we're going to receive another 22 million. So 3 years, millionaire. 5 years, multi-millionaire. 7 years, we just create generational wealth. You add all those years together, that's 30 million. But it gets better. I haven't put this together yet, but I'm going to share this with you a little bit now. You client of mine, at the end of that first 36 months, when we get that 1.5, we are going to reload with what? 45 more. If that special is going on, if it's not, we're going to reload with 30 more or so. Because now we have the money. But the most you can get is 45. So I'm going to say 45 more, special or not. Why? Because at the end of this second 2 years, that 6th year, this will be due again. Because remember, it took us 2 years to get here. So we got 1 more year. Just before this happens, we're going to receive another 1.5. Then that very next year, we're going to receive this. But when we got this 2 years later, we also reloaded here too. See, it's a work with me, listen to me, you're going to end up wealth for that first generation, which is your kids, and with the most I said is your children's children. That's second generation. And I'm going to show you how to do it. Stick with me. Okay, let's do an overview. I gotta breathe. Matter of fact, let me get a little juice somewhere. I'm doing this cleanse all week, so I'm just drinking water. Let's get my body back in shape. All right, let's look at the primary benefits. Earn passive income, generate interest from staking 24/7. It never sleeps. That's about the blockchain. That's one thing about the blockchain. Oh, another thing about the blockchain. You're going to be earning this 365 days a year. No capital provided on your part. Who providing the capital, John? Remember I told you? The bank. Big starting capital provided by the bank. 30,240 or 43,200. Excuse me. You choose. It's affordable. Only $100 handling fee. No matter whether you get a 36-month, a 60-month, or 84-month contract. And it compounds averaging between 0.1 and 0.3%. That's every single day. Can you imagine compounding anything every single day? When that guy Einstein was credited with saying that compounding interest is the eighth wonder of the world, those who receive it love it. Those who don't, pay it out. To who? To the banks. In credit card debt, that's compounding for the bank. Whether it's a mortgage, whether you owe taxes to the IRS, they compound daily. It's just a funny thing, right? But now we're going to flip the script, and we're going to show you how to compound daily. And as you can see, you don't need a whole lot. Why? Because it's compounding daily. It's a beautiful thing, and you can't touch it too. That's the hardest thing for most people. That's what has wrecked, along with the market, so many people's retirement accounts going into it because of life. Let's keep it moving, though. 80 contracts are allowed per account, and that's even with the special, right? Can't have more than 80. Over 700,000 members worldwide, and all withdrawals are in the number one coin on coin market cap, which is Bitcoin. We just hit another all-time high. You heard me talk about it earlier. 8-year-old project. And since I've been in crypto, this is my first project that has this kind of longevity. 8 years. Why? Because the industry was new. It's still new, only 15 years old, right? Brand new industry. So everything that was coming out when I first came in was brand new. I was happy to see this project had 8 years up under his belt. And everything runs on a decentralized blockchain. And the governance is through a smart contract. Can't ask for anything better. No financial or contractual obligation. And we have an optional builder's plan. Commissions are paid instantly, payout, so it's pretty cool. And we have the special runner right now where you can get 5 contracts, and if you get all 3 of them, that's 15 free contracts. Now we're going to take a little breather right here. This is where I stop to answer any questions on part 1. So part 1 was all really about passive income. People who just want to get contracts, they want to build for that $1 million Bitcoin retirement account, or they want to build for multi-million-dollar status, or they want to build for generational wealth. That's what all of that part 1 was about. And if you have any questions in regards to anything I've covered so far, feel free to raise your hand. I'll be more than happy to answer your question. If you have a question and you don't want to raise your hand, you can write it in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to answer it in the chat. But let me just say this before I go on to part 2. Part 2 is really all about the referral program and how you can create that next level and third level of generational wealth. It's pretty cool. As a matter of fact, it's past cool. It's pretty exciting. I see a hand raised. Let me see. I got to get over here to the unraised hand part. Hey, Superstar, go ahead.
Hi, John. Okay,
Hi.
so I was looking at, did I see this correctly, that the 5-year and 7-year have the same staking amount of 42,000? Was it 200?
Yes, 43.2.
Why is that?
Because the bank decided that they're going to give that same amount because they make enough because of the 2 more years of compounding.
So why would you choose the 7-year if you can do the same thing in 5 years?
Well, you can't do the same thing, actually. You get the same starting balance. So I don't show this, but let me just kind of say it because you asked. In the 5-year, at the end of 5 years, you got about a little less than a half a million. If you get the 7 year, you have over 7 figures. So that's the difference. That
Okay,
2 more
so
years of compounding gives you about another half a million in return.
well, what's the 43,200?
That's the starting balance to stake with. So you're staking with the same amount. But the reason why the 7 year compounds more is because it has 2 more years to compound.
Okay, so I don't know, did I miss something or did you show a chart?
No,
that
I don't
showed
even.
it?
I never even showed the 7 year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you show
Well,
the 5 year at the
yes.
end of the
So
5 years?
so the 5 years was the 471. So I showed that.
471.
471,000 is on
Okay.
average what the 5 year produces. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And you're more than welcome. And the reason why I don't go into this 7 year game, and I kind of do when I show the generational wealth one, if you take those 22 contracts, that's 1 million per contract. That's where that 22 million comes from. So it's 22 contracts for 7 years, generates 22 million. That's 1 million per contract. But I don't have a particular slide that I actually show that 7 year or the 1 year, the one contract for 7 years individually. And we be showing. I mean, it's a whole lot more I want to show, but I just want to give you the idea. And when you sit down with the person who invited you, they can go into more detail. Or in the question and answers, like she just did, you can ask that question and we can illuminate it for you. Do we have any other questions in regards to anything we've covered in part 1? If not, we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to get right into part 2. I don't see any question. Part 2 going to give us about another 10 minutes, folks, and we'll let you out of here. But part 2 is how you take that generational wealth to a whole nother level. Because we got 3 ways to earn: direct commissions, daily profit sharing. And that comes from stake and rewards. Now, this right here, I'm going to have to say is probably my number 1. I say this about the leader commissions because that's pretty awesome. You get that monthly. You get this anytime you want to make a withdrawal. That's instantly. This one here is the one that compounds, and I'm just a fan of compounding, and we'll look at that a little bit deeper. So the direct commissions are the same whether you get a 3 year, 5 year, or 7 year contract. So your direct commissions is right here. Level 1 is 30%. Level 2 through 4 it's 5%. Level 5 through 6 is 4%. Level 7 through 10 it's 3%. And this represents a $100 contract at 30% is $300. I'm sorry, $30. Your daily profit sharing. Remember when I say when somebody withdraws their 35,000, you get 2,800 or 2,800. That's 8% of that 35,000. So on your first level, you get 8%. Remember when I said that's 17.5 that you get on that second level when somebody is taking out their 35,000? That's 5% of the 35. But look at this. That 5% is paid down 3 levels. So that means if you are building and somebody's taking out 35,000 on that second level, you're getting 17.5. If somebody's doing that on that third level, you're getting 17.5. And if somebody's doing it on that fourth level, you're getting another 17.5. And it doesn't get much less on the next 4 levels. You're getting 4%. From levels 9 through 12, you're getting 3%. From levels 13 through 16, it's 2%. And levels 17 through 20, it's 1%. The reason why I call this my favorite, because of that compounding, it's just mind-blowing. And what are you doing? You're leading. You're building. It's a beautiful thing. Now, to get the leader bonuses, which is paid monthly, 100 directs, 100 contracts each month between levels 1 and 2. You know, that's just a few guys doing 4 or 5 contracts a month. That's going to easily be hit. And then a total of 100,000 in volume. If you hit that one, you're going to hit that one automatically. And that's going to generate a $5,000 immediate retroactive bonus. So that's pretty cool. But guess what? Every single month from that point forward, you'll be receiving 5 additional percent paid monthly. And let's look at that. Laura hit 40,000. She was saying in a post that she made back in, I think it was March, 40,000 members. So I just did some quick math. If 40,000 people on our team did one contract a month, that one bonus would give her $200,000 every month that happens. A little over $2 million a year, right? Before she gets to her 36-month money. This is just monthly, right? For building. If half of them did it, which was 20,000, that's $100,000 a month. That's 1.2 per year. So as you can see, this little 5% that you might call little can be fantastic. And she's only been in Cryptex 2 years. Over 40,000 members. Her last post, she said she was hitting 50,000, and that was like about a month ago, so she's probably hit 50,000 by now. But when I did the numbers, it was on 40,000. So let's keep it moving. So direct commission is showing you that every person you refer on your directly, you will get 30%, which is on $100. That's $30, and that's on levels. I mean contracts 3, 5, or 7 years, no difference. And if you bought somebody and they got 20 contracts at 30%, you'd receive $600. So you can see the contract can be very lucrative to be a marketer. It's pretty exciting. And this is showing in 2 months you can make over 20,000 by continue to refer. The direct profit sharing, this is, like I said, my favorite. This is showing you one client who had 15 contracts, one on your first level, one on the second, and one on the third. When those 15 contracts are due, you're going to make 42,000 on that first level. You're going to make 26,000 on the second level, and you're going to make 26,000 on that third level, and some change, as you can see. But guess what? If you're doing the dollar cost averaging, right, and you're setting up 10 clients, 15 clients, and each one of them are sharing one client, 2 clients, nothing big and exciting. Do the numbers. It would blow your mind because it did mine. But those numbers are just phenomenal. And that's every single month that client is withdrawn. It's a wonderful thing. And this is kind of showing you the same thing, just a little bit more color. The leader bonus kind of gives you a little breakdown. It's a 5 people each illustration who do 20 contracts a month. You can easily hit that, of course, the 100 contracts. So it's pretty cool each and every month. A system for marketing. A friend of mine called me. I think that was Tuesday or Wednesday. I had my brother and we looked at this presentation of a marketing system, right? I kind of looked at it. I did look at it. But and it's for marketing on Facebook and all that kind of social media stuff. I don't like doing that. I looked at it anyway just to see what it was all about. But my point is, within our system, that Legacy Wealth, which is Laura's organization, put this whole thing together. She allows us to use it. We have everything that you can want to post already done. We have pre-scripts, we have email autoresponders, we have new member letters, any and everything that you would want to say or do with a client. You don't have to figure it out. It's all done back here. You just modify it. The video I shared when we got started, I just modified it. I got it from back here, and I just put my information on it. But you don't have to try to figure it out. If you're not a marketer, but you want to be, but you don't know how to, put together posts, don't know what to say, it's all pre-done back here. Even pictures and stuff where you can just change your information and put it out there. You can post anything. So it's back here. If you're on our team, I can give you access to my account, because to get your own account, they say you got to have 100 members, and most folk don't have that. But what I decided to do a few months ago was let anybody who wants to use my account and go back there and just get whatever you want and begin to market away. So it's pretty cool. Frequently asked questions, most commonly asked questions, should I say. Can I withdraw at any time during the staking term? The answer is no, as we saw earlier. See, profits are locked. Why are they locked? Because they don't want life to happen. See, when you don't consistently compound, it throws off the algorithm. So to get that 35,000 in 3 years, that money has to be left alone for that 3 years. Why? Because the bank has to eat too, remember? They got to get their piece. You got to get your piece. And the insurance company has to get their piece. So they don't want to hear about your life problems. That's why you got to get that put and take account on the side, so that when life happens, you dig over there. But this growth account, that's locked and left alone by what? That smart contract we talked about. So that's locked and left away. But at the end, though, you can take out your 35,000. To earn instantly, you can share the program. and you can take out anytime you have over $100. So it's pretty cool. Where does the money come from? Bank loans are starting balance to the DeFi staking contract. We talked about that earlier. That's a beautiful thing because you want to call it your exposure, you want to call it your cost base, whatever you want to call it. It's only $100 per contract, and the contracts can have a starting balance of 30,000 up to 43,000. I ain't never in all of my 30-some years of being in the financial world, 25 or so in the old world and the rest over here in the new world. I ain't never seen nothing like this where a entity is putting up the starting balance for you. Doesn't happen. But look at this here. Staking compounds at 0.1 to 0.3% per day, 24/7 for either 36 months, 60 months, or 84 months without let up. The ending balance is the result after the staking time frame. You can't ask for anything better than that. You see, we're not talking about 39 years like that scenario I shared with you earlier. We're talking about 36 months, 60 months, and 84 months. In the world of finance, to create a 7-figure retirement, it's unheard of. But you heard of it now. Now, why would Cryptex only charge $100 per contract for such a return? Why? All parties involved, Cryptex, the bank, and the insurance company, and each account holder earns substantial profits on every contract purchased. That's why. You don't have to be greedy. You just have to be patient. See, that's all that's required. Wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and $100 handling fee is all that's required. Why? The bank's going to earn 6.75 for every 3-year contract, and they're going to earn 5.5 for every 60-month contract. The insurance company's going to earn $210 a month for every 36-month contract, and $300 per month, every month, for every 60-month contract. That's substantial. Don't need no more. Anything over and above that, now that I've seen this, would just be, being greedy. And what happens with men and women when they get greedy? Things get all messed up. That's why that smart contract is in there to keep everybody happy and everybody on board with the original protocol. It's like Bitcoin. You can't go in and change nothing. Why? It runs on a decentralized blockchain with a smart contract. As Bitcoin began to grow, the thing got slow. They wanted to change the protocol. They couldn't. So they had to implement a new protocol called the Lightning Network. They weren't expecting it to grow the way it grew, right? But they couldn't change that original protocol. Same thing here. That smart contract is locked. If they want to change something, they got to create a new smart contract and let the other one run its course and say, now we're not offering that no more. We're offering this new one now. That's what the old world don't have. They touch everything and change everything. Ask me how many times in my 25 plus years did companies come and change commissions in my insurance contracts, my annuity contracts, or my investment contracts. Ask me that. Often. Too often. It got to the point where it was ridiculous compared to when I came in the industry and when I left. Oh, it's insane. See, we didn't have a smart contract. I wish we had. See, back in the old days, a guy could retire and sell his book of business. That was your retirement account in addition to whatever you saved. These days in the industry, you can't sell nothing because they have wiped out your back-end money pretty much. Let me not get on that. But I'm just trying to show you the difference between the old world and the new world, all right? I'm not hating on the old world. I was there for a long time and was blessed to have done well. So I'm not hating on it. I'm just telling you the difference between the contracts. That's all. 36-month contracts, Cryptex earns 30 per contract, which gives you $1,080. For every 36-month contract, that 30 each month comes to $1,800. Cryptex is happy. Bank earns for every one contract for 36 months, $30,240. They put in that contract, they're going to earn 6.75 for 3 years, which is $6,123.60. For the 60-month contract, they're going to put in $43,200. They're going to charge you 5.5. Why? Because it's 2 more years of compound. They don't need to charge them more. They're going to earn $11,800. And the insurance company or the bank don't have to go through no underwriting. They ain't got to pay no agent. None of that. They don't need a building. It's all blockchain based. So their cost basis is basically zero. And their risk factor is zero. Why? Because the insurance company guarantees the money for the bank, and the smart contract guarantees the money for the insurance company. And the staking platform is locked, which guarantees the money for you and me. It's a beautiful thing. The insurance company earns on a 36-month contract $210 a month times 36 months is 7,560. The 60-month, 300 a month, 18,000. Do you think they're not happy? No blood in urine, no underwriting, no agent commission, no big office to have. Come on. Imagine 15 contracts. The insurance company's going to earn $113,400. Ain't paid nobody nothing. It's gravy. On 60 months, 270,000. Again, on every 15 contracts. Haven't paid anybody anything. It is probably when they saw it, they said, this is the holy grail of the insurance industry. The bank said, I agree with you, brother. This is the holy grail of the banking industry too. Why? Because the banks want to lend. They just needed to be a situation where they don't have to take no losses. And that's where that smart contract comes in at. It's a beautiful thing. Can I sign up family members? Yes. You just can't sign them up in under you. You have to sign them up beside you. You can't stack, in other words. No stacking. Meaning, if your wife comes in, you use your referral code to sign your husband up. If you have children, you use your referral code to sign the children up under you. Husband's under you, wife is under you. If it's the husband comes in, wife is under him, the children are under him. That's how it works. If you want to go deep, you build. The main purpose of why it's illegal, because you're cutting out your sponsor, number one. He or she needs to eat. They brought you to the table. Why are you going to cut them out? You're going to put contracts down below instead of putting them under you so they can eat. No, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. So they're supposed to eat. And then the company don't want to pay bonuses that you didn't earn. Those bonuses should have went to your sponsor. That's how it's made. If you want to get bonuses, you got to do what your sponsor did. You go out and bring people in. That's how you got in. If you follow that system, everything is cool. Why? Because this thing is what? Strictly enforced. So please don't do it. They'll take your contract. All that you done built up, you're going to lose it because you want to cut somebody out or get more than you were supposed to get. No. Just like the insurance companies and the banks ain't trying to get no more, ain't trying to charge you no more, you shouldn't be trying to get any more than you earn. The scripture says the workman or woman is worthy of their hire. If somebody bought you here, make sure they eat. It's as simple as that. Follow the rules, and everybody can get paid. And then programs stay here forever. Can you refer? Can I refer and earn commissions without my own contract? The answer is no. You have to have at least one contract. Somebody can, if you just lost your job, family member can bring you in, and you can earn as much as you want. I just showed you back there using dollar cost averaging how you can earn $1 million a year, right? If you're not that excited about it, you can earn 50,000, 25,000, right? But you only can earn commissions if you have at least one contract. Why does the website say contract sold out? Because, as I said, in order for Cryptex to introduce a new contract, they have to stop the old contract. They can't just cut it off. So whoever has the old contract, they let it run its course. When it's done, they don't let that contract bring any more people in, and they introduce a new smart contract. So it's pretty cool. So when you see that, those are contracts that we no longer offer. If Cryptex is running since 2016, why does the website say 2021? Because those first few years, they were putting it all together. They were putting the things together for the bank, putting everything together for the insurance company, putting the things together for the community, testing everything. When they got it all worked out, they launched in 2021 with a back office and a website, and they went public. So it's pretty cool. The further benefits. The anonymity thing was awesome for me when I first saw it, because it reminded me of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is totally anonymous, right? Nobody knows who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Nobody cares. His peer-to-peer payment system works. It worked from day one. That coin, as you saw in that earlier scenario, went from under a penny to where it is right now, over 111,000. Just hit another all-time high. The last all-time high was 108,000. Then it had a little pullback. Now we're over the new all-time high, which is 111,000. they're predicting by 2025 that Bitcoin will hit 1 million. If you follow the scenario that I laid out, you'll be right in that flow where you're compounding even on your Bitcoin, just for the sheer fact of the adoption of cryptocurrency all over the world. It's a beautiful thing. The logic of it, it's Cryptex has been internally consistent 100% of the time. Over 700,000 members. Can't find nothing negative about anybody not getting paid nowhere on the net. And and I know that if somebody hadn't gotten their withdrawals, it'd be all over everywhere. Just like any other company that messes up, right? They haven't messed up because of those components that are in place. So they've been consistent, right? Better than we've ever seen before. Why? People are flocking to Cryptex for all of the above. It's unique, original, profitable, secure. It's never been done before. There's never been a program that I've seen, and I've been here, I'm in my 12th year, I guess it is now, where you have banks and insurance companies. Yes, they're already in crypto, and yes, they have other projects, but not like this. They haven't come together to create something like this, is what I'm saying. And you got the smart contract and the decentralized chain on top of that. And then you have us that benefits from all of that by doing what? Activating a contract. How many can I activate? As many as you want. Up to 80. Can't go over 80. Unless you bring your husband in, and he can get another 80. That's how that works. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. Now I am basically done. I'm going to stop my share. Do we have any questions? We have a special guest, I do believe. Do I see Miracle? I think I see Miracle. Miracle, raise your hand. Do we have any questions before I see Miracle? Let's see. Somebody said, let me read this. What were the risks in the investment? So your risk would be your $100 for your contract, right? That would be your risk. So if you bought 5 contracts, your risk would be $500. That's what would be at risk. What would be staked on that $500, for instance, would be about $200,000 or so. That's what would be going to work for you. So you risk about 500 to have a little over 200,000 working for you. So it's a pretty awesome thing. Can we take a look at a live wallet? Wait a minute. Yes. Yeah, we can take a look at a live wallet. Let me unmute Miracle here for a second because I want to make sure that the guest is here. Go ahead, Miracle.
Hey, John. Good night. Good night. Yes, she's here. She's definitely in the house. I'm
well, you
sure
can go ahead
she's
and introduce her.
Enjoying your presentation here tonight. Because I definitely feel like signing up all over again because you give such a thorough breakdown on everything, including a little education on Bitcoin.
Thank you.
Because we missed the wave early in the game, so people better get on the wave now.
That's right.
Yeah, so guys, I am very, very excited tonight. First, I want to tell you that, when this opportunity first came to me, I was like, just like any of us, we have all been on some bumpy roads along the way. So I was moving in slow motion. But then again, I said to myself, you know what? This is actually the cheapest opportunity that I've seen where your return is so powerful. So let me tell you what I did. I shot into a very good friend of mine that's known me from childhood, and she's seasoned in the game with the crypto space. So when I sent it on over to her, as she was checking it out, she noticed that it looked familiar. So when she got back to me, she explained to me that, and going through her email, this opportunity came to her before by a very, very close friend of hers. And because she was busy involved in work and other things, she never got around to him. So anyway, long story short, she reached back to him and he basically told her that he confirmed that yes, he had already cashed out on his 3-year contracts. Right. So without further ado, guys, I'm gonna let her finish telling the story. My very good friend Mirab is on here tonight, and she's gonna give you a breakdown and an update on how her good friend is currently doing, because he's retired now from this opportunity. Mirab, without further ado, we're gonna let you take the floor.
Now, what's her name so I can get her unmuted?
She has her hand raised. Mirab.
Okay. Mirab.
Thank
Hello.
you. Thank you. Hi.
How
Good
are you?
evening, everyone. Good evening. Yes, as Marigold said, I've known her for a lifetime, before she could even walk. So that's been a very long,
Yes, ma'am.
very long time ago. But as she stated, Marigold reached out to me sometime last year in regards to Cryptex, wanted my opinion and, wanted my thoughts on what I thought about the program and, the legitimacy of it or what have you. I immediately recognized the name Cryptex. I knew somewhere in my mind I saw that name previously. So I went back through some old emails and I still saw the email in my inbox and it said Cryptex, an opportunity of a lifetime. And that was back in 2019. Now, mind you, Cryptex started in 2016. So this colleague of mine in 2019, he sent me an email, said, Mira, take a look at this. It's Cryptex. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. But because of the type of work that I did, I traveled quite frequently. I remember saying to myself, well, I'm going to read it later when I get to a place where I've slowed down and I have enough time to go through the email. I'll read it later, but later never happened. So here we are in 2024. Marigold brought it back up to me. And once I recognized that it's something that a fellow colleague had attempted to introduce me to, I reached out to him because once I read all the information on how the program works about, the 3 years and cashing out, et cetera, I reached out to him and he told me, my goodness, in 2022, he cashed out, he made over, close to $400,000. And then, X amount, by the time he collected everything with what his contracts that he bought and the referrals that he had that also started with him, it was over $700,000. So I was shocked, just speechless. I couldn't believe it. So he actually invited me last year because he was cashing out again. He did his 3-year contracts in 2022, his 5-year contract in 2024 of October 30th to be exact. And he told me when he was going to cash out, he invited me to witness his withdrawal. October 30th of 2024, I personally witnessed him withdrew from Cryptex $3.7 million.
Come on now.
$3.7 million. And to top it off, at that moment when he withdrew his Cryptex, he immediately sent his employer a 2-week notice and resigned. Anyone that is doubting,
we lost you a little bit there.
yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Say that again.
Yeah. I said for anyone that is doubting this opportunity, have faith. take a chance. It's only $100. We spend $100 on so many things, dinner, getting your nails done, your hair done, you buying expensive perfume, makeup, etc., etc. And we never question what is the return on that investment of those luxuries? Zero. You don't get anything back. Again, like I said, when I spoke to him, I witnessed the $3.7 million on October 30th of 2024. He resigned. And once his Cryptex, his Bitcoin got to his personal wallet and he did whatever he needed to do, he took a 3-month vacation. He went to Europe. He was in Asia for 3 months just to sit down and kind of collect his thoughts on how he was going to live his life moving forward. So that's what he did. He didn't go out and buy anything fancy. He just said he needed a vacation. He hadn't really taken any time off in a very long time, and that was an opportunity for him to try to digest everything and think about tomorrow. Currently, he's building a house in Thailand. He bought 5 acres. So he said he's gonna, permanently relocate there. One thing that he's done that I found to be very interesting, he's very low key, very low key. I hear from him once a month, and every month he calls me from a different number. So he gets a new number every month.
Wow.
Yeah, he said
He's really
because
incognito.
there you go, there you go. Simply because he just wants to stay private. He figures that who he needs to communicate with, he will communicate with. He doesn't carry a phone number per se that anyone could contact him, but he takes time once a month. He calls me to let me know that he's okay and, bring me up to speed about, what he's doing, etc., etc. My only regret is that I didn't slow down enough in 2019 to buy my contracts because I would have cashed out in 2022. I would have been cashing out now in 2024 and so forth and so forth. So this opportunity is a real deal. It's a real deal. A lot of times we hear about different products out there and, we hear about the amount of money you could make or what have you, but don't have any solid proof or any, actual proof that you're able to collect. And again, like I said, I saw it with my own 2 eyes, and I can't forget October 30th, 2024, $3.7 million. That it is stuck in my head. I am just surprised. So I'm
Awesome.
just again excited. I got in last year when Marigold brought it to me, and I circled back with my very dear friend, and I've known him for over 25 years. So this is someone that I've worked with, I trust. He's my children's godfather, that type of thing. But just like me, I'm not a pushy person. I'm the kind of person that I will mention to you something once, but I never circle back. So when he sent me the email and I never responded, he took it as I wasn't interested. Because he didn't want to feel like he's hounding me to make a decision or forcing me to do something that I wasn't interested in. And I told him he should have. I said, you could have sent me a follow-up email. I
At
said,
least.
just so that I could have, slow down and really take a look at the information that he put in front of me. But Cryptex is a real thing for any of you guys that are doubting it. Like I said, I've seen it with my own eyes. The amount of profit that you can make with this. And it's not even about, you don't even have to do it as a business if you're not a person that uh, has that, motivation or drive or what have you to do it as a business. Just doing it silently and, buying your contracts and collecting, that's fine. Of course, doing it as a business, is an added bonus. But here's this person, he's an introvert. He's very low key, and he just, bought whatever contracts he needed to buy. He told a few individuals, 5 people, he told, and I was the only one that never, followed through or what have you. And he's making some good money, and he set it up now that he's actually getting paid every month. Something like what you showed on your slide, where whenever he cash out, like he buys X amount every month because he prefers to get a payday every month is what he says.
That's right.
So every month now he gets paid. So I just want to encourage you guys for the ones that are second guessing or what have you. It's $100. I mean, a lot of times I've heard on some of these calls, because I've been on so many, and individuals seem to be so concerned about $100. But if you think about it, let's think about real life. When you go to the bank and you ask them about the different CDs that they have available, they're not fronting their money for the CD that you're interested in. You have to buy that CD. You have to take money out of your pocket, that $20,000, $30,000, put it in a CD for 3 years, and the return on investment is nothing close to the $100 that you're investing for this Cryptex contract, where they're going to give you $30,000, and at the end of the 3 years, you get $35,000 on that one contract. There's no comparison. The only thing that you are subject to lose is $100. The other way, traditionally, when you buy a CD and you put your $20,000 up front, Lord forbid if the bank, suffers some type of crisis, you may not get your money. You would lose that money. Because sometimes even when they say they're FDIC insured, et cetera, I mean, there are loopholes to still for banks to not give you what they say that they insure.
Like what happened in the 90s.
There you go. Yep, took the words right out of my mouth. Exactly what happened in the 90s. So again, like I said, $100, even if you buy one, hey, that's a start, because when you get that payout after that one at $35,000, then you could buy more contracts if they are available. You have to keep in mind that the contracts are not always available. There's times in the past that my colleague have told me, since he started in 2019, that there has been times where they weren't offering any contracts, because when they get the amount of then that's it. So don't look at it as, oh, well, I could do it later. Yeah, do it later. But you start small. Even if it's $100 a month, do that just so that you have something. So that should be the game plan. Thank you.
I thank you so much for coming on. It was
Sure.
beautiful to hear from you, and feel free to join us anytime.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Gang, let me just say this. She summed it up. There's another case study, our first case study of somebody directly in our organization who actually witnessed one. All the others have been, hearsay or somebody sharing something with us, but she actually is a good friend of Marigold, and they go back, as you heard, over 20-some years, and she actually witnessed a withdrawal. Somebody had asked me in the chat, could I show the wallet that I normally show, one of Cryptex's withdrawal wallets? And I just updated it while she was talking. So as you can see, when I first started showing this wallet, it was 24,000 that had been paid out. Now it's over 26,605. And these are today's payouts. As you can see, the date here is 5/22. There's the time. 45 Bitcoin, 5,042,000 was paid out to that wallet. 4,142,000 was paid out. Right here, this is something that came in the Cryptex. 80 coins came in. It was like 8 million that came into that wallet. Another 4,800,000 was paid out. Another 23 million came in. Another 5 million was paid out. Another 5 million 14 was paid out. Another 980,000. Another 1 million. You know, when I show these numbers compared to, I was talking with a guy, I think I shared it with you guys before, when one of the guys was on one of these calls I was on, was talking about when he first joined, like the lady who just left us, the payouts were small, 35,000, 70,000. I mean, not that that's small, but they went into millions, right? And after those early people started getting their first little payouts, because I guess they were a little nervous. They only bought 1 contract, 3 contracts, 5 contracts. Shortly after that, it started exploding, and people were just maxing out their portfolio. So that's why you see these 5 millions and the 980,000. People are just, the confidence is here. 746,000, 522,000, 10,000. Am I saying thousand? 5 million, 746,000, 5,220,000, 10 million came into the wallet. You see, so money is coming into the wallet and money is going out. Another 5,087,000, another 5,120,000. So you can see they are paying out tremendously. And so I'm not going to go through every payout, but normally when I click on here, it's about 200 to 250 or more payouts per day that come out of this wallet. So with that being said, do we have any other questions? Feel free to raise your hands. Matter of fact, I'm just going to, oh, somebody has a question down here. Thank you again, Brother John. It's been my pleasure. What is it that could go wrong? What could go wrong? Great question. I don't know. Blockchain could go down. It's this technology is the greatest technology known to man thus far. And there's in the 15 years now we're in crypto, there's never been a blockchain that's had an issue. It's Web 3.0. There's nothing that can go wrong with blockchain technology. Smart contract, once it's written, it doesn't go away. It's distributed on that blockchain, which is nothing but a distributed ledger, right? So there's millions of nodes and master nodes that run that blockchain and verify those transactions. So it's not going to go anywhere. The only other part would be the community itself, which is Cryptex. Could Cryptex decide not to do any more contracts? Yes, they sure could. But the ones that we've done will have to run its course. Could they do what they're doing right now, which is they're introducing a new contract? So if you're a member and you go back there, you see we have a 10-year contract that's pending. So once they finish this update and these changes that they're making, they're going to release that 10-year contract. So there'll be a 10-year contract. But other than that, I can't think of anything else that could go wrong other than them just saying we're done running this and we don't want to run it anymore. The contract that are already out would have to run its course, and the bank would have to finish getting paid. The insurance company would have to finish getting paid, and then we would get paid, and then it would be done. But that's it, far as I know, because I've never heard of a blockchain going down, and I've never heard of a smart contract not producing. So hopefully I've answered your questions. It's about 9:41. We're way over our time, but I'm good if y'all are good. There will not be any meetings on Sunday. We're going to go and have a cookout, and we're going to go hang out with my son, and we're going to go motorbike riding. So I've already committed that to him, so it won't be in. So y'all can enjoy y'all holidays. Y'all probably won't be here no way. I'm pretty sure everybody was doing something for the holidays. But just to let you know, I won't be here. So if you were planning to be here, go to the YouTube channel and get one of the YouTubes and let your guests watch that while y'all have a picnic, because you can do that. Put me up on the big screen, and then you have your cookout. So it'll be awesome. I've unmuted everybody, so you all can unmute yourselves and say good night. If you have a question before we go, you can ask your question. Other than that, we are done.
God bless. Greetings, everyone.
Excellent. Thank you, John.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Thanks, John.
Great job, John. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you
Hey,
for
good
your
night,
guests
John.
coming on as well.